Pro Sports.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Behind the Bunker. It's Saturday night, our quarantine show, our open quarantine show. That means you guys at home can come and join us. One rule this evening. If you want to join us, no problem. We're only going to allow a certain amount in at any time. But if you're going to join us...
Hello, guys, and welcome to Behind...
Oh, if you're going
to... me. I was just turning my phone on.
That's okay. If you guys are going to join us, use the same name in Zoom that matches your name in the chat. And that's all that we ask. Don't just sign in with your initials or sign in with anything else, because I will only allow those in that I know and recognize the name for. So thank you guys for joining in. I see a bunch of you guys there. I have a couple more people joining us on the Zooms. And as I say, within the link of the description of the video is where the Zoom link is. Oh, Bag of Chips threw me off. I thought that was a hacker. I saw his profile pic there, and I thought, oh, no.
Profile picture.
It already starts. So there we go. All right, so we have Joe Kimson from Flag Artist Paintball I see there.
I'm here. Greetings, guys, and thanks for tuning in tonight to our call-in show, so it should be fun tonight again.
Yeah. Well, and then we have Josh the Music Breakers beside you.
Yeah, here, ready, willing, but not very able. So,
what are you not getting any sleep?
Let's give her a go. No.
And then we have Garvin Sharma at the top corner of the screen.
I am here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hit that like and share button maybe after the 5-minute mark. My fingers are crossed that it's going to be a successful show. I'm looking forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Again, hit that like and share or start a watch party, because it's paintball. We're chatting with some of our greatest friends.
Yeah. And then I have me and my friend Ryan McGee. How are you?
Hey, guys. What's up?
Not too much. And then Bag of Chips is in for now until I boot him by accident.
Or on purpose.
Bag of Chips, I am so sorry, my friend, for booting you last time. You can understand how that happened, though, right? Like, you know that wasn't personal.
Hard no.
Yeah, we can't hear you, by the way. Your mic might be off.
Mute it or something?
Why don't I see...
You have to scroll. Once you get a number of people in the screen, Josh, you may have to scroll right or left.
No, mine's still set up from a work meeting the other day.
Oh, okay. You have your naughty boy filter on?
Yeah.
There we go. And the bat symbol himself is signed in. I see Tom Bertrand. And I see Ian. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, thanks. You?
Not too bad. Can you put your camera up a little higher? I'm only teasing, dude. Your camera's like 20 feet away from you.
I wanted to look at those light bulbs you have.
Yeah.
Are they 100 watt?
Yeah. Gavin's camera's usually much lower looking up, so this is a different view.
Yeah, it's mostly because I have it up on my my 43-inch TV that I use as my main monitor. So
all of us with our 42-inch TV. Yeah.
Obviously not trying to brag.
So thank you guys for joining us on the show. Listen, guys, the live link is in the top of the description. You guys are welcome to join us if you want. If you're going to join us, please use your first and last name so I know who you are and it matches up with who's watching. I have a Ben A in the Zoom waiting to get in, but I don't know who that is, so I'm going to leave that alone. If that's it, yes. But I fell for that trick last time.
Okay.
I clicked on RC, which was Rick Chart as he was logging in, and that. Not that I blame Rick for what happened last week, but I'm a little more trigger shy, as Gavin said. So very good.
There's a lot of blame. There's a lot of blame to go around, and I lay it solely on the lap of Bag of Chips. So it is his fault and why he was no longer welcome to join us last week. But if you've learned your lesson, my friend, please behave. And we can actually chat with you this week.
See, I think you're wrong, Gavin. I think when Tom Bertrand got on, I think that's when all hell broke loose. So as soon as he got on, everything broke after that.
Well, I did ask Gavin earlier if I could wear my assless chaps, but, you know.
Oh, ban now. Please, ban now.
There's a one-person chat ashless chaps rule, and Gavin's got it covered, so don't you dare.
Yeah.
Partially covered.
There's about 10 of you guys waiting to get in right now, but again, I need first and last names before I let you guys in. So if you guys are in there, and yes, Walt Keeley Bendover will not be allowed in.
Which begs to differ. What's wrong with you people? Don't you have anything better to do tonight?
Apparently,
I
none
just
of us
wanted to
do.
see your sexy face, Zuby.
Like, shame on you guys.
Yeah. Sexy face. Have you cleaned your monitor lately?
Well,
Me?
Yeah, look at him. Come on. He's a sexy beast of the East.
Yeah. There is some.
Oh, there we go. Much better. Much
Yeah.
better, Zuby.
How's that?
There we go.
Very
I prefer to
good.
call Ontario the Middle East.
So welcome everybody to the show. Hey, we have Zane on the show. This is the first time we've had Zane
Zaniac. That's
on
right.
the show for a while.
Contributor to the show.
Yeah.
Lots of question asker.
Hey, just to clarify, Melissa Sue Jones was a proper person, right, Tom?
Yeah, she's one of the BC PPA reps.
Okay, no problem, but you understand why I ask. So for those of you guys, let's give a story. Gavin, do you want to explain briefly what happened last week so they understand why we keep saying?
Don't use the proper words.
No, I certainly haven't processed it with my therapist yet. So the first 5 minutes of trauma, I'm still reliving each and every night as I go to bed. And that's sort of consistent with the last 8 years of Behind the Bunker. So Misery Loves Company, we're all in good company this evening because it's going to be a significantly better show than we had last week because at least we can upload this one.
Yeah.
It set the bar too high.
What, Joe? We were going to have the Braveheart on. What was his name? Was his name Ben? I don't think so. Right? Yeah, I can't. Sorry, Joe, your mic's off. Yeah, your mic's off, Joe.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
now
there we
he's
go.
trying to get in, which is Neb Nala, and the other one is call sign Braveheart. I don't know what his human name is, though.
Okay, I'm gonna let Ben A in right now, and I have my fingers on the ban button as soon as. So look away, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, am I trigger shy. Last week, here I am just letting people in.
All right, as we roll the dice this evening, it is our May 24th weekend, the Victoria Day weekend. Normally for us as Canadians, we'd be out pew-pewing each other right now. So how have you guys spent your first Saturday of the May 24 weekend of the quarantine, and how much of that was paintball related?
Yeah.
So let's go around the horn and McGee. But for us in Kanakistan, we are on a long weekend right now, and this happens to be a very long weekend that started in March. But...
No. But my confusion is you keep saying the 24th, and it's only the 16th, Garvin.
It is too, but we call this weekend the May 24.
With the exchange rate, it's actually May 24.
Oh, okay.
Actually, May 29th.
My mistake.
But May 24th is Queen Victoria's birthday, May 24th. We celebrate that, and it typically falls on the May long weekend, the same weekend as your Memorial Day weekend, if you will.
Traditionally, we have maple syrup and then tea and crumpets. So, yeah.
So we're not shooting each other, which is unfortunate. This is typically a weekend where it's wonderful weather. We get to go out and hang out with friends, shoot some paint. And I see some long-time paintball players who have maybe stepped away from the game, Neb Nella.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, so I'm just checking in with each and every one of you. When the floodgates open and we're allowed to go out and shoot each other, what are you going to do? Where are you going to be? And what are you going to be shooting?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with Ryan then, since he goes clock, or since he's at the top left there.
Next, actually, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after is the weekend Fort Knox is going to be open. So that'll be my first chance to get out and play is during an open play at Fort Knox. I'll make sure to get plenty of pictures for you, Todd. I promise.
Good.
And everything. And I'll be shooting this, my MG100, which I just got finally finished. I got a new front shroud for it, a shroud cap, and a new full top rail, which covers the hopper issue. So now I have a full flat top rail. So I'm happy.
Beautiful.
Can you hold that up again?
Sure.
I know you want to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
It's nice.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm one of those people that likes to sit back and use my wonderful first strike range, which unfortunately I can't use at Fort Knox, but
good for
I
them.
like to pick people off. Oh, come on.
All right, so
Frangibility.
I will go around the horn for you, Todd, as you're figuring stuff out.
Well, I'm sharing and liking, so if everyone else is where they're waiting for the turn, by all means.
Oh, I haven't done
Excellent.
that yet.
All right, our good friend, Real Bag of Chips, who is now off of his suspension, out of the room.
So be nice.
All right, what would you have been doing, and where are you going to go once the floodgates open up?
Oh, yeah, by the way, can you hear me okay?
Unfortunately.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Usually I play at my local field if I can, which is a field up near 400 in Rutherford, near across Canada's Wonderland, Von Paintball. Mm-hmm. You guys might know who runs that one, Alex Medina. Usually I play at my local field if I can.
Oh, someone's got their audio on. If they just turn that off, that's great. Thank you.
400 in Rutherford, near across Canada's Wonderland, Von Paintball. You guys might know who runs that one, Alex Medina.
There we go. I found who it is. James, It's you that have your mic on. Just turn it. Just turn the show off, and then.
Turn that off, right?
Yeah. There he goes. Sorry about that. So yeah, there you go. So you're coming to Flag Raiders, you said. Good, nice.
Yeah. Well, I try to get to Flag Raiders a couple times
kidding.
over the year. Yes.
Just kidding. What about you, Mr. Ian?
Well, I've been spending the quarantine basically just 3D modeling out my butt. As Joe probably knows, I'm sure a few people have seen my stuff. But in terms as to when I hit the field next, it's probably going to be a while still. But there's other reasons for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. Do you still have paintball gear ready to go?
I got a few things lying around. I got a vest, got a nice TPX, that kind of stuff. I had a TMC, but sold that a while ago. Just wasn't using it.
Yeah. Well, there's also a lot of different pistol options in the market these days. When you do decide to start playing again frequently, there's some neat stuff. Some revolvers and, even the Menace is cool. But
I've seen a few things.
Yeah. What about you, Thomas?
Oh, sorry.
Right now, not a heck of a lot. I've got a game planned in hopefully 2 weeks. It all depends. I've put some obviously precautions out there for people to understand what I'm planning on doing. So, hopefully in a couple weeks I'll try to get out with a small group and then just go from there.
Yeah. It'll be nice to be able to play with normal sized people soon too, hey Tom? And Zane, what about yourself?
As soon as Pyramid Paintball opens up, I'll be there.
Where's Pyramid?
Pyramid's just a little east of North Bay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
It's east of North Bay, like Prince Edward Island or London, England. That's east of North Bay, isn't it? There's not much settlement.
Well, if you go
east.
far enough, it's west.
That's true.
It's in a town called Bondfield.
Okay. Sounds like a metroplex. Sounds like a big place.
Oh yes, it's massive. There's huge populations of moose and beaver.
It's a big town, Todd. It's got 2 traffic lights.
No, not even. No, it isn't. It just says Highway 17. That's it.
Nice. All right, Melissa, what about yourself? Are you going to be heading with Tom or not so much?
Actually, kind of cool. After 7 weeks, we actually had our first paintball practice today. I just got home from it up at Tom's, so it's good to have. We had about 8 players out today from our 12-man team.
Nice.
Now, when you say man team, are they men or women? It's very confusing.
It is very confusing. It is actually all 12 men coached by 1 woman.
Well, there we go. Some of them might question that.
It's people kind, Joe. People kind.
People kind. I was just curious.
Speaking moistly at each other.
Moistly.
Oh, come on, Jamie. Horrible.
I found the word of the show.
Yes. No, but next weekend I actually start up my regular job up at my local field, TNT Paintball. So it'd be nice to actually be back out there with the kids. I ref splat ball kids. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what about Ben? Ben, when are we going to see you back out of the field?
As soon as it's open. Sorry, I just had to come inside. It's actually kind of cold out for a May 24 weekend.
Okay, but tell me, maybe last year was okay, but tell me how many May 24s we actually had good weather. I always love watching guys go out and camping, and they usually get one decent day, and then the rest is miserable.
Well, I've heard the rain is coming.
Yeah, more so Monday than Sunday, but yeah.
But I always find, at least May 24, in my recollection, it's like summer during the day, but winter during the night. So camping is usually out, unless you're looking to die.
Yeah.
No, we got torrential downpour today.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nasty weekend. So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so thank you guys, everyone, so far for joining us. We have other people waiting to get in right now, guys. So if you're not getting in, I apologize. There's I don't know how many more faces we can fit on the screen. There's definitely one that I don't like looking at that I'd like to get rid of, but we'll leave them on there for now, right, guys?
Be nice to Zuby.
I wanted to see who was gonna.
I was gonna say I'm here and I have my headphones on. I can hear.
I can hear you. Yeah. No, that's good.
This got really awkward.
Not as awkward as last week, Gavin.
Let's go back to talking about the paintball guns.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, let's talk about the pistols we were just talking about. Joe, what give us an insight of what's out there for pistols.
Joe, you got to do the button thing again. Push the button, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to use my Tiberius.
Joe's been watching too many kung fu movies on the side.
Yeah. Uncle. As far as a traditional TIPX pistol, the First Strike FSR pistol, you can still buy the Tiberius T8 and 8.1. They're still kicking around. We have the Umarex TR50 revolver. There's also the Umarex PPQ M&P. There's also a 43 caliber Glock coming out. There's the 50 cal Menace. There's a reasonable amount of sidearms, and that's really attributed to, I think, the rise in mag-fed play and guys wanting to carry a secondary and a primary shooter. I won't call them weapons because they're not, so I'll just call them a shooter. So there's a decent number of pistols out.
Joe, as a field owner with all these pistols coming out, like I know you carry 50 cal. Will you start carrying 43?
We normally have 43 caliber at the outdoor field. Flag raiders and most other fields are not BYOP fields, but there is only one color of 43 caliber paint around. Well, there's orange around on occasion, but most commonly it's blue, and the white that's around is powder balls. So we normally have, someone's pistol is clicking, we normally have 43 caliber at the field.
Powder balls, I do that daily.
That's right.
That's nice. Yeah. There we go. I'm sending out some more links and more I've liked and shared to all my groups now. So very good.
How many more people can you bring on the screen, Todd? Can you get a few more
people
in the room?
Well, the thing is, I've got an odd number right now. So if I start letting more people in, I don't know what it's going to do. And Ian is...
Yeah, because everyone knows if you let even number of people in on Zoom, it starts crashing.
Just kick someone out.
No. Yeah, okay. Ian's so far away, it's hard to see him. But here, let me admit one more person and see what happens here. I'm very trigger shy.
Giving me a hard time for being too close to the camera. He's getting too far away.
Yeah.
And as Todd is figuring out,
I'm special.
It just made everybody look that much more handsome now because everyone just got shrunk down.
But the sort of the rise of the sidearm.
Yeah.
Would that not be a great, even like a rec ball day of just playing with your secondary weapon or your secondary marker?
We at the original, not I guess the middle field.
Nights.
We went out all
PGP
played
nights,
with PGP nights, and that was so much fun. Everybody had a stock PGP, which allowed for nine rounds in the chamber, and you'd be running around and you'd take your 15 or 18 shots, and you'd have to change your 12 gram. It's certainly up the game level and the giggle level, if you will, as well. It was pretty fun.
Remember when you used to have 9 rounds in the chamber?
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, nice to see James Rogers getting in the show there. How are you, sir? Very good. Does your mic work? There we go.
I think James is also one of the accidental bans from last week when it was just the rapid ban. So
yeah,
I'm glad you're back with us. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Newfies got kicked out.
We could play roulette doing this. Can we guess homeless person or paintball player?
Aren't they the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we see Brian Barno in there in the live chat. Brian, all you got to do is clickety-click on that link and come on right in. If you guys would like to join the show, you guys are more than welcome to. We'll take a couple more people. If you guys are going to sign in, use your full name so that we know who you are signing in. Thank you guys for joining us on Saturday night. There is not a lot going on in the paintball world, but there is certainly an optimism that all the fields are going to start opening soon. In our area in Ontario, Canada, it's not happening anytime soon, unfortunately. In some of the southern states, it sounds like they're pocketed areas where they're allowed to play. But I don't think anybody... So you guys, Melissa, you were talking about playing today. Did you go to a paintball field or did you just go somewhere that you played?
No, we actually went up to an actual paintball field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, letting in very small groups. No more than 10 people out on the field. So.
Okay.
Was it at Thomas' place?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
I have to say, I really enjoy the fact that Olivia is trying to sign in.
Gavin,
not today, Isis.
Gavin, you got a little sweat coming through up.
You weren't here last week, Zuby.
Yeah, the rando names coming in like, oh, dear God, Todd, please.
I'm trying. I'm being. If you guys are trying to get in and you're not getting in, A, try to use your real name so that I recognize it, and B, just be patient. I don't want to have a million people in here, but I did manage to convince Brian Barno to check in. So let's see if he makes it in here. Do you guys know who Brian Barno is? He's the president and CEO of what is it? Prestige Worldwide.
Brian also runs OXCC, you know me, which is the greatest field south of the Mason-Dixon line. In what is he in Chesapeake?
Chesapeake.
It's Chesapeake.
And Joe is only fond of it because it smells like Old Bay seasoning and it has crab cakes on the menu.
Yeah, you walk out of your hotel when you're over there, and that you just you could just waft the Old Bay seasoning. I don't know.
And crab cakes. It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Although we went to a Mexican restaurant while we were there, but Gavin doesn't want us to talk about food. You can see his head's going to explode.
No, this is great. You know, we got like 30 people in the chat, but we can talk about your.
You know what? To piss Gavin off.
Things to talk about with paintball.
Could we talk about restaurants at your favorite restaurant at your local paintball field?
Sure, why not?
I'm only teasing.
It's your show, Todd.
I'm only teasing. Is that the Brian Barno?
Hey guys,
it is.
Very good. Hey, if one of you guys are listening to the show in the background, just turn it off or mute it while and just listen to the show through the Zoom call. And Brian, I'm looking at you.
It's me.
I don't know.
Turn off your volume, Brian. Nope.
It's either that or George.
It's George. So George, I'm just going to mute you for a second until you get that sorted out. Very good. Yeah. So Brian, thank you for being on the show. This is the first time you're actually on Behind the Bunker.
Yes, it's good to be here.
Are you excited?
No, not really.
And Brian, only one person per Zoom. You can't have two. You can't have people bombing you in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
That's part of our Zoom thing.
Nice.
It's our Zoom policy. It's subsection 101.1 of the Zoom Act.
So I see lots of construction happening at OXCC, but are you guys open yet?
Today was our first day.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. We could have opened last weekend, but we got permission Friday. We can open to 50% capacity.
Oh, nice.
So
50% capacity. So then.
Well, so when you have what's 50% capacity?
Sorry, guys. If you are in the Zoom chat right now, if you could just mute your mics, that would be fantastic. So we can actually.
It's George. I just muted him. I apologize, George, but I'm going to leave you on mute for just a few minutes unless you can sort yourself out. Otherwise, I'll have to kick you out in the most politest of way, of course.
And sorry, Brian, you were saying, as we were a little bit choppy there, you were at 50% capacity.
Yeah, we were allowed to do 50% capacity, but, like most businesses, if it's an indoor Walmart or whatever, the fire marshal tells you what your capacity is. We have 100 acres, so our capacity is 1,000 players.
Absolutely. And
is that 1,000 players and 5 Canadians?
Exactly, 5 Canadians, yes.
And were you seeing a lot of rentals, or was it all equipment owners coming out?
No, we saw a lot of scenario players, a lot of speedball teams, a lot of airsofters. We rented very little equipment.
So here's a question, Brian. Your speedball guys, are they practicing for NXL, or are they practicing for local events? Do they have optimism that things are still going to happen this year?
Most of them just want to get out of the house. That's what they said. A lot of them thanked us just for being open, and I said, don't thank me, thank Governor Hogan that let us open. NXL, I'm not sure. Well, you've talked to Tony Cole about NXL, so I know they have a bunch of options open. We're one of their options. So everybody's just hoping it happens.
I just have to tell you that we threw your name into the hat when we were talking candidly about fields and stuff, both on and off the show. So hopefully that does something for you. And our stipend is 5%.
5%? That's 5%.
It? That's
all
it.
Right.
And a crab cake.
Is that U.S. or Canadian?
Well, U.S., of course. If it was Canadian, it would not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as Joe said, there's crab cakes in that rider as well, and beef jerky.
And beef jerky? All right, cool. Cool.
Yeah. How many guys in the live chat here have been to OXCC? I'm thinking most of these guys are. Yeah. Okay. So most of the top row.
Most of the people in the chat right now are Canadian, other than Brian. Brian, I think James and Ryan. I guess where are you guys?
It's part of my Zoom filter.
I'm in Indiana, so I got ways to get around that Canadian filter. Sorry.
That's fine. James, where are you?
Sorry, James, we can't hear you, buddy.
Might pull his string. He's not talking.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Hold up.
He said that he is from Sarnia. I don't know. I'm sorry, buddy, we can't hear you. Oh,
you
boy.
like purple slushies and
small dogs, Chihuahua dogs. Okay, very nice. And he likes to travel with his Chihuahua dog on airplanes. Nice.
In a pink tote bag.
In a painted Louis Vuitton tote bag. There we go. Oh, boy. So Brian, I meant to ask, sorry, your speedball guys, were they out in big numbers? Were they social distancing? I'm curious because that might be one of the loopholes in Ontario where we are that might be able to open sooner than later, but maybe not. So I'm just kind of curious to see what you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, we put signs that we moved our picnic tables all over the place. We told people requiring them to wear some kind of face covering when they're not playing. And for the most part, everybody did and complied with that. We probably had...
You said face masks while they're playing?
Well, no, when they're not playing.
When they're not playing. Okay, understood.
Right, some kind of face covering.
Yeah.
We probably had about 100 speedballers here today. Now, tomorrow we have about 26 five-man teams coming, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. We're busy because Pennsylvania, New Jersey, they're all still closed, so everybody's looking for a place to play, and we're the only ones that are allowed open right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Now, what about how strict are you as far as socially distancing? We're supposed to maintain a 6-foot diameter sort of bubble around individuals. How do you get speedballers to socially distance?
Yeah, so what we're doing with the speedballers, we told most of them we want them to stage out of their vehicles, so we're not letting them in our picnic tables where we have everyone else. So we're doing that with them. We have someone making sure that they're trying to park a little bit farther apart.
What are they going to do with their
there's
garbage?
Always those time. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a challenge.
Don't worry, Brian. They'll all put it in garbage cans and fold up the boxes nice and neatly before they leave. Don't worry.
Yeah, we all know how that is. Yeah.
But really interesting pivots for you and your staffing team to wrap your head around it, keep people safe, and be in compliance too. So, what other things have you been doing to ensure that people are in compliance and that your field's not going to get shut down? Or
So I mean, again, we space out all our picnic tables. All our tables have social distancing signs on them. Wearing a face mask when you're not playing signs. We have people going around with sprayers with disinfectant. We're spraying down the tables, the fill stations, the doors to the porta potty.
That's just Axe body spray.
Yeah, the lids to the garbage cans. So we're doing that almost every hour. As far as the equipment we did rent, we had new goggles. So we left them in the bag so the people could see us taking them out of the bag, so they're reassured they're brand new. And we're only using equipment once per day. We're not rotating any equipment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sorry. Same thing with our pro shop.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we have a tent outside, so we're checking everybody's waivers outside. Because we told everybody you got to fill waivers in advance, we're not letting them use our computers. Once they fill that out, we're letting just 4 people in the building at a time. That's it.
Nice. I'd like to go around the horn here and talk to everybody and ask them. So let's say hypothetically, wherever region you guys are, the ban has been lifted and paintball fields are open, knowing that we have just come out of a pandemic and everyone's still going to try to be safe and stuff. Do you guys have concerns going to play paintball? What do you think it's going to be like when you get to the field? Like, what are you hoping for? Or do you think it's just going to be a back to square one and everyone's high-fiving and handshaking and forgetting their manners and P's and Q's? Zane, what do you think? In your world, do you think people are going to listen to the rules or do you think they're going to forget? Sorry, Zane, I was asking you, but you're on mute.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
You know what? I think, except for the handshakes and the high fives, I think everything's going to be pretty well normal, especially up here. I mean, we've had 21 cases, and that's it in all of our region. So it's very, very far between. But maybe on the speedball field when you get a little close.
Yeah.
In woods ball, I don't think you're going to see it. We play in really big fields up here, so
yeah. Ben, what do you think? Do you think people are going to social distance? Do you think it's going to be tight, or do you think it's just going to fall apart?
There's always a few idiots, right? But I'm just going to do my part to be, hyper vigilant and just try and, do what the sign says. I'm sure you guys are going to have signs plastered everywhere.
Well, I'm sure people are going to be whatever. I think also people are going to forget. I think you kind of have to be self-governed. Like, I think you have to kind of watch out for number one and remind some people and keep them on their toes. Yeah. What about you, Melissa?
I don't think I'm too much worried about like our speedball players and our our regulars that come out to TNT paintball. I think my big worry is that more the kids and the renters, because they get so excited, winning their first little point. They've never played paintball before, and they want to go high five their buddies or go give everyone a fist bump or whatever it is, and it's just, I think it might be a little bit hard on the smaller kids that don't quite understand it still.
Yep.
But we are still opening it up to those birthday parties to see, how well it really does go. The guy that owns TNT, his name's Reiner. He's been doing he did a huge post last week, and it's like 8 paragraphs of exactly like what to expect. And, we're asking, the usual, keep your distance. When you're off the field, please don't go hug someone or shake their hands or high fives. And I think if everyone just keeps following those rules and we keep it under 50 like we're only taking up to 30 people per booking.
Yeah.
For the whole entire day. I think we keep doing that. I think it'll be okay. At least I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Tim Miller from Australia has just allowed 10 players at fields, but we are still not opening, as we can still get assistance to cover wages. So we are waiting to see what stage 2 will do for us. There's a threshold. If you're only allowed, as far as a field or a restaurant or a gas station, if you can only have 10 people at a time on your facility, it's probably not worth opening up. So they're probably waiting, like he says, to stage 2 to see what will happen.
I have a question. When you guys are watching, anybody that's watching us right now, I've never seen this before, but I have a window open of where I'm watching the show live as well on Facebook, and just underneath the picture, there's closed captioning. I've never seen that before.
It started last week.
Really?
What's closed captioning?
I
know what it is.
Yeah, so basically as we're talking, it's being dictated on the screen. That's fantastic. That's really good.
I'm so grateful it wasn't there last week.
There would have been some crazy emojis.
Yeah, last week was nasty. Looks like we have Christoph trying to log in here from overseas. Hopefully he can get his connection. I see him trying, and it's trying to connect, so hopefully we can get him on there as well.
And it's quite late for him as well,
Yeah.
so hopefully he can chime in for a bit before going to bed.
Yeah, but Oktoberfest was canceled, so he can stay up late one night a week.
Yeah, James, did you get your mic sorted out? Can we hear you now? No, he's just going to
I
be
think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
There, now we're good. So where are you from? We tried to ask you before, and we heard Sarnia.
I'm originally from Newfoundland, but I live here in Toronto.
That's right. That's right. We learned that last week before shit hit the fan.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, booed. I missed all the drama.
Yeah. No, it was just you. You were the drama. Are you looking to get to your field soon, or?
Yes, I'm waiting. I'm itching. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I can see that you're itching. Maybe try a different shampoo, something with a little moisturizer in.
George Hayes said he and Roger are playing at Sherwood Forest, and George says there's sit-down restaurants open here in Indiana. Crazy how there's so many variations about what's allowed to be open, how they're allowed to open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, I wish I lived in a pocket where restaurants were back open, but unfortunately that's not the case.
I don't know if I'd go to a restaurant quite yet.
I wouldn't, honestly, but I really miss sitting down and having someone say, what can you...
A patio with nachos. I'll take the corner. A couple of pitchers of beer. I'm dying for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I do like all the local restaurants because I do take takeout every once in a while still, and they have the little debit machines on the end of a hockey stick. It's like, okay, I get your patriotism, and that's awesome. But, yeah. What about you, Mr. Bertrand? Are you thinking that when you get to the field, people are just going to be back to square one, or you think people will be behaving?
You know, it's hard to say because I know a couple guys that I play with, like they think this is all a joke. So like with the stipulations of cleaning fill stations and stuff like that, it's really hard to tell what they're gonna do. I have warned them that if they're not gonna respect other people's distances and all that type of stuff, that I will ask them to leave. We've got no time for that. Like, even though they think that this is all a joke, and that nothing's going to happen. Oh, it's no big deal. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You got to respect everybody else's distances.
For sure. Hey, Christoph, do we have your microphone going good now, dear? Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Then hopefully you can hear me too.
I do. Are you? You're over in Germany.
Yes, exactly.
But why the flag behind you?
Oh, that flag behind me? Why not? I'm an American fan, so I work on an American base, helping out with the paintball program up there. So why not have a flag at home?
Very good. Well, I appreciate you.
That's a sexy beard you got.
I appreciate you being up this late or up this early, depending on what time it is where you are right now.
We got 2:30 in the morning.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, sir. It's nice to have you, and thank you in advance for or thank you for all of the submissions you sent to Behind the Bunker. Pictures of your custom gear and your outfits and stuff. It's always fun to follow your social media because so for those of you that don't know him, when he's on the field, he's usually looking some sort of a part, and his stuff is usually pretty good. Makes up for we're told you're not a very good player, so at least it's kind of makes you.
All right.
Just kidding.
You can follow him on Instagram. He's __ Braveheart on Instagram, so you can follow him on Instagram. We'd love to see some. We're all obviously military type fans, so we'd love to see some pictures that you can send us of the base too. That kind of stuff is neat, especially.
And like blueprints too. Where things are kept.
Classified documents, but
just a
anything
couple
like
of security codes.
yeah, just any military images are kind of cool as well on the base. That kind of stuff is neat.
Yeah, laminated ID tags would be cool. That would be fun.
So, Christoph, maybe you can give us a little bit of a bio, intro to who you are and your involvement in the sport.
Well, matter of fact, the sport catch me pretty early when I was in my early 20s. I started playing when I was 19, 20 years old. I started up here at my hometown. We used to have the base all the time here, and they had a paintball program going on, and that's when I got in touch with it. And now, after 26 years of playing, I'm still hooked, and it's a fever. Either you get it or you don't. That's the impression I always had in this sport. Either you love it or you don't.
Yeah.
But if you get it the bad way like I have, then you just cannot get loose it. You just cannot. It's everywhere. Paintball is one of the biggest parts of my life, despite my family and my kids, for sure. But everything else, I breathe, I live paintball all the time.
Nice.
It's amazing. It's the best kind of sport you can ever imagine. It's the best kind of doable sport out there. I played American football before. I played German soccer. I played it everything, but I never got anything like it when you meet up with guys on the field after the games and so on. I'm totally hooked. Like I said, I've been playing for 26 years now, which is quite a little time. Then my gut feeling is that you give me every marker which has been there in the market. I played it already. Playing, those walk-on games on base. Now, it turned out into leading big games. So,
yeah. Well, here's a question. Sorry to cut you off, but we're all from North America. Everybody here, but yourself. We see some really kick-ass games hosted over there because, let's be honest, you guys have some real nice toys that are much more handy than, let's say, Canada. I mean, our military, I think we own a tank. So you guys have all kinds of toys and things that you could that are at these fields. What are some of the best games? Like if we were to come over and only come to maybe 2 games or 3 games in all of Europe, what would you recommend?
First of all, honestly, for sure, I would recommend the European big game, the Euro big game. That's the major and biggest big game going on in Germany, which is we're hosting about 2,000 players. It's a 5-day event. We arrive on Wednesday, play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's held on an old Russian military base, totally wild.
Wow.
It's you got everything. You got dense forest, you got buildings, you got 2-story buildings, you got woods, you got everything down there, and it's one of the biggest shows there is. Like I said, talking about 2,000 players, and I'll guess everybody from you knows David Justin, the Reaper, and he's been down with me 5 or 6 times already, and he really loves to be there. Despite the fact that playing is fun, I mean, the hospitality of us Germans up there, it's quite amazing. We hosted guests from Canada, we hosted guests from the States. We had everybody playing there, and this is the bomb. This is the bomb.
Yeah.
So this is the main place to be.
Yeah.
Now, where is that?
Well, it's like an hour drive close to Berlin. So if you land with a plane or something like that, if you fly to Berlin directly, it's like 1 hour ride with the car, and then you're already there. So
What's the name of the city?
It's doable. It's called Malwinkel, which is close to Magdeburg.
All German to me.
I'm a big Google mapper, so I'm going to look.
Oh yeah, you will find it after. It's like I said, it's an old Russian military base. It's where the tanks and everything were stationed, and they used to have airfields too. But the airfield is now like a solar base, solar farm.
Neat,
so
neat.
If you find a solar farm, you're very close already.
Nice. Okay. So it's Saturday night, guys, of a long weekend, and we're sitting in our rooms on Zoom talking about paintball that may not even happen for the next couple weeks or months for most of us. This is how much of a diehard paintball fan we all are, or stuck in the industry like Brian and Joe and Gavin, myself and Josh. Like, it's pretty bad, but you know what? It could be it could be worse. We could all be like show cat owners or something, and
we watched that. Yeah. We watched that documentary on CBC that you told us to watch, Todd, about the cats.
But FYI, if it was just about cats, we'd have more viewers.
Yes, that's true. I can't believe how big of an industry that is. But I mean, what I'm saying is we could be involved in some sort of other terrible hobby. This is at least cool, and yeah.
Like mime? You wouldn't need our mics.
Yeah.
Were you able to share screen?
I don't know. What would you like to share?
Please be careful.
Careful when you share.
It is. Don't worry. It is absolutely clean. It is clean, I swear.
You know what? Facebook message it to me, and I can put it up through my software as a full screen.
Good call.
Yeah. I know who Ian is. Yeah.
I'd like to upload one Saturday show.
Chris, with the base that you play on, is the field that you play locally on the U.S. Army base, or is that base field open to the public, or do you play at another local field as well around you?
Okay, good question. The base, the game field itself is not especially on base. It's quite next to it in the forest. It's shared with the German Forest Master, but it's the training area of the base. So it's off limits for public. So I don't have to deal with any kind of mushroom pickers or somebody like that. And if it's their fault. And so yes, we're off base on a non-public field. So you have to be invited and things like that. And we keep it strictly not for everybody to walk on, because you want to know who you play with.
Right.
Yeah, that's always good practice.
Now, is there another local paintball field near you that's open to the public more so?
Oh yeah, we do have those normal sub air fields. They are around it. They're like 2 fields close to Stuttgart. There's not other fields, but everything is like sub air. Sub air. It's tournament paintball. So right. And I strictly stay to the woods because that's where I was born. That's where I was raised. That's the only kind of paintball I do.
You do look like a Viking.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Next time I'll shave.
So are you near Stuttgart then?
The wrong part.
Yeah, exactly.
A
Did my
friend of
accent
mine
give me away?
A friend did the accent. It's a very German regional accent. It's the same language they use on the navigation systems in the Mercedes that are made in Stuttgart.
Okay.
But a touch of Bavarian. Am I,
a little bit of Bavarian.
Do you or are you wearing lederhosen right now?
No. That's the Bavarian type. Us Swabians, we were not wearing those kind of lederhosen. We walk around normally, more or
less. Sorry, Ian, you might have to share it to me to Facebook, not on the chat. But I'll try. I'll see if it opens. But
fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe send it to me if you don't mind on Facebook, because I have better virus software on that computer.
Okay. So you mentioned one friend. You got a friend close to
Yeah, I had a
Stuttgart
friend
playing
that was
there?
from Kitchener. He used to work at he'd go over and work at Stuttgart during the summer at the Mercedes factory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small world.
Everybody works for a Mercedes factory close to Stuttgart. It's like everybody, or somehow connected with Mercedes.
Now, question pandemic related. Are you back to not normal but a new normal now, or are you still isolated, or what's happening in Europe? We know Germany was hit fairly hard.
Yeah, Germany was hit fairly hard. Right now, our numbers are not that bad. I mean, yes, they are bad. We do have deaths around here, but our toll and our already healed people is rising day by day. So we are not getting back to normal because we still got regulations right now. At the moment, you cannot meet with more than 2 families outside your home. You have to wash your hands as usual, but yeah, we're strictly more or less, quarantined at home. I mean, you can walk around, you can go to the woods, you can go jogging, you can do whatever, you can go buy groceries. Everything's okay. But it's like Japan. You have to wear a mask all the time when you're out there, driving in a bus or going to the.
But isn't that better for all the Germans to have to wear masks? Aren't they?
Well, for most of them,
And sorry, Christoph, is that a recommendation or is that a requirement that you're wearing masks?
No, it's a requirement. Actually, it's a requirement, and it's by law right now at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get around if you got something like asthma or something like that, and you kind of wear a mask, then you're good. But you have to get it cleared, so you don't have to wear it. But it's not a recommendation. It's by law. So if they catch you without a mask going to the grocery or whatever, it's their decision to call the police, and then you're in deep trouble. And like I said, I mean, for me personally, I was pretty, it was pretty cool because I still had to work. I still could go to work. My wife could go to work, so money wasn't a thing. The only thing is the kids do have to stay at home. They got no school at all. They're like homeschooling all the time, which is okay for them. They're doing pretty good, but
Oh, we seem to have lost you there, Christoph.
Yes, we have your video, just not your audio.
Your audio is cut out. You'll come back. The Russians are listening to our conversation.
But it's wonderful to hear how each country is doing their own initiatives based on their need and their demand,
right?
And how that can sort of translate to our local areas, how we can get prepared and hopefully get people out playing. Nobody wants to rush this, although we're all itching and anxious to get out and play. We want to do so safely so that we can sustain the sport as well, and that we don't have another flare up and shut things down even longer. So I'm very excited to hear about different initiatives around the world. So like Brian and Christoph, thank you for your contributions.
Yeah. Hey, Ian, I did get your picture, and I have it in the top left corner of the screen there. And a few minutes ago, I did sort of show it on the big screen for people watching at home. Maybe explain what that is you're working on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sure. So, yeah.
You lost your mic.
He's muted, Todd.
Ian, you muted yourself?
Sorry.
That's okay.
I can only blame. I was in Unity for a second there and lost the thing. So I think it was 2 weeks ago. I approached Joe with the idea of maybe doing like a 3D model of Flagger's outdoor field. Was kind of bored, looking for a project to do, and thought it would be a cool one. So basically,
and he's gone again.
Yeah, sure.
I clicked in Unity again. So bad. Where was I? Yeah, so basically right now I'm kind of working on the terrain stuff. just got started kind of doing a lot more of the texturing and all that stuff, and that's kind of what you can kind of see in the screenshot that I sent.
So this is like a computer rendering of our outdoor paintball field, essentially.
Yeah, you
the
could say
beginnings
that. More like beginnings of a potential game. That's
cool.
Like that screenshots from within the Unity game engine.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, I
cool.
would like to see. I would like to see that when that's finished. That's badass.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
here
I'm gonna
comes.
keep going here. Just want to mention a couple things. I mentioned it last week on the show, but obviously, Gavin got everything deleted. Me and Melissa, we are part of the BC Players Association for paintball here, and hopefully she has a moment to give you guys a little bit of info on that. Also, a buddy of ours, mutual buddy, Cass Leon, he asked me to mention Play It Forward Paintball, which is a non-profit organization that he runs. So, yeah, also, everybody just be safe. Hopefully we get back on the field pretty soon here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom, beat it.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
See you, Tom.
Take care.
Hey, man.
Hey, nice
Hey,
to
Tom.
see Tim Miller. Is that who we're talking to there at Hunter Valley Paintball?
Certainly is.
And where is Hunter Valley Paintball? And don't say in Hunter Valley.
Oh, can I say Hunter Valley? Newcastle, just about an hour 20 minutes north of Sydney on the east coast.
So this is next week you're talking to us from. This is fantastic. I didn't know you're from Australia. That's why it took so long for you to connect.
Mate, this Zoom and this Microsoft, the other stuff with all the meetings, I had to go in and log in and re-educate myself on what to do. So,
Yeah,
we're a bit slow, down under, exactly.
Can I ask a newbie question? What day and time is it then? Because right now it's about 9 o'clock North American time PM.
So we are Sunday here at 11 o'clock, Sunday morning.
Okay, so you're not that far ahead. How does the future look?
You're not going to win Powerball, put it all the line.
Yeah.
But for us, as I said, we're waiting on stage 2 to see what it's going to allow. And we are pretty much well online with the rest of the world, I suppose, because I've been listening to the boys comment. And, the restaurants are opening to 10 people and pubs and clubs can open, whereas they were all shut as of before Friday, just gone. So I'm not sure if any of the paintball fields have opened up at the moment, but the ones that I've been talking to, we're all just waiting for stage 2 to see what that's going to do for us. Well, who knows?
We're probably in Ontario. We're probably in stage 2. They've rolled out stage 1, which is golf and individual sports like cycling, tennis, those type of individual sports. So in Ontario, will likely be stage 2 or stage 2.5, but it really depends on the numbers of participants you're allowed to have gather in one spot, because we haven't even been able to merge 2 family bubbles. So if you've got 2 households self-isolating, we haven't been allowed to even merge two households yet. So I think it's a little ways off before you can have 15 or 20 different households converging on one location. I don't know. I'm not a infectious disease specialist. If I was, I wouldn't be working at the White House. That was a good one.
I've actually been tracking a lot what's going on in Australia, because it seems to be quite consistent in terms of the plan that happens here in Canada. So what is outside of the plan, what is the feeling for paintball players there? Are they optimistic? Are they worried? Are they concerned that the season will be completely over for them?
Well, paintball, as in for the players, I think they're all itching to get out and actually shoot somebody, other than the way you're thinking you want to do it. But as for the fields, like everybody wants to play. We've only just in New South Wales, where I am, we've only just allowed mag-fed paintball guns, and the only 2 guns that are legal here in Australia at the moment in New South Wales for the mag-fed is the Tippmann Stormer, and I've got the the first one here in Australia, and the other one is the MM100 or whatever it is, MG100.
MG100.
Yeah, both good markers.
The only two that have come in, and everybody's itching to get out and do something. But you can lock the gate and hide like we used to do 30 years ago, and go and play in the bush because paintball was illegal 30 years ago. We'd hide in the bush, and then you'd come out and look each way of the roadway to see if there was any cop cars waiting for you.
Yeah.
And the same at your house, you'd always look out the door to see if there's any cop cars out the front because they're going to come and knock on your door. But do you go back that far? And at the moment, I think we may be still behind the 8 ball because, as an operator, because of the it's going to take a while for people to start getting back into coming to play paintball or booking games in because of the social distancing. Do they book a game and bring their mates out or their work groups, or don't they and stay home, play it safe with their family? Nobody wants to take a bug back home to their family, and especially if they've got old aging uncles and aunties and rellies.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure where we're going to go from here, and I'd like to say we're going to go bang and walk straight into it, and there's 100 people knocking on the door on Saturday morning to want to play paintball.
Yeah, I'd like to think that too. I mean, when this whole thing is done, I can't think of anyone who's going to go, hey, it's safe to go outside. I'm going to go back inside and finish binge watching whatever I was watching. They're all going to go somewhere and do something, whether it's a restaurant, a paintball field, a movie theater, who knows? But if they're all going to go on and go do something, and they're all going to want to do it with their friends, not any of their relatives, right? Because they're done with their with their kids, their parents, their brothers and sisters. They're going to want to do it with their friends. So I mean, what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah. Well, there's bugger all left on Netflix. So
yeah. The only issue is
change the bloody movie.
Yeah. The only issue is, are people going to have any money to go out and play? But on the same token, people can't spend their money right now on a lot of things. So I don't know. I'm being optimistic. I'm hoping that this 4-month or 5-month, whatever it happens to be, downtime is going to turn into a few at least good busy months, so we can, as a paintball field operator, I mean, we only have a couple of months to make any money, and it's missing right now. It's hard.
You up there in the north have you've got your winter and your snow, and it makes it hard. Where I am, we don't get the snow that snows us in, but any bit of a cold, and all the sooks go, oh, it's too cold to go out and get shot. So you got to wait 5 or 6 weeks for them to acclimatise to the cold weather, and then they're into it. And then it comes Christmas time. Oh, it's too hot because you guys have snow. We have 45-degree heat.
Well, then you have walkabout season.
Yeah, go walkabout. That's the pub. But now we've got cars, so you don't really go walkabout no more. It's a dump in the car. And but that was one of the things that was doing here. They were getting taxis to go and pick up your grog from the bottle shop and bring it to you. So, which isn't too bad, because the days are gone where we used to get the pizza delivered, and then we get him to go around the bottle up and pick up some more grog for us, so we could have our pizza and beer.
All right, Tim, I have to ask, what is your favorite goon?
Well, I'm a Jack Daniels boy. We don't have goon as such like you guys do up there in your little jam jars or whatever, but the goon was a water bottle. So
the inflatable cask that you had in the wine.
Yeah, okay. Now that's our pillows when we drink it. We just
yes, I've heard.
I don't even care what Tim says anymore. The slang and the names for things. My Jim Jam Jolly thing. Yeah, it's fantastic, Tim. I love it.
Well, mate, I'm sorry, we've got to educate you. Like, I've been going over to D-Day in Oklahoma for the last, since 2010, and meeting up with the boys over there and hang shit on everyone. But everyone's got a guest of the. There you go. Look at that. See? All of us half-caste Aboriginals, we eat Vegemite just so we can try and top up on the dark colour. But I'm an Aboriginal person, but on the white side, I just tell people my old man had a little doodle and the light got him. So I'm not as dark as the rest of them. But, yeah, and a lot of people don't like the Vegemite because they take a big scoop and they're not used to it. But there is an art of putting Vegemite on toast, and you've got to put
you put
butter on.
You put the Vegemite on one piece of toast, and then push it into the trash, and then eat the second piece of toast. That is the trick with Vegemite.
No, Tim, can you just assess my Vegemite spread? So it's toasted either an English muffin or bread, and it's slathered in butter and a smear of Vegemite on both sides. Is that appropriate? Because that's my daily breakfast.
That's appropriate. That's appropriate. You smear it, but you've got to do it when the butter's hot and melting on the toast. So a lot of people will put toast out and then they'll butter it and let it sit for a bit, do something else that's cold. Then they'll put the butter on and then trash the toast. But it doesn't mix in, and there's a connoisseur of Vegemite on toast, I'm telling you. So it is an art. And people get it shipped over, and I've got a good mate that's over in that now manages the field at Folder Gap, Paintball Pete. He was a paintball operator here in Newcastle as well, and so he's educating the boys over there on the Vegemite as well. So on the art of smearing it on toast and even butter. So yeah.
Is it true, Tim, that Men at Work wrote your anthem, your national anthem?
The new version.
Yeah.
There is an old version. There is a Jimmy Barnes version, but that's the Men at Work. No, it's Men at Work. No, it's Oil.
No Slim
the
Dusty?
Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil. They did a version of it. And, yeah, but Slim Dusty, good on you, boys.
That's right, mate.
I thought Christoph had a real thick, nice German accent. It's very, and it's awesome. But Tim, your language is colorful with, just your descriptive words and stuff are fantastic.
Inappropriate words, yeah. Paintball Pete calls me his rough diamond. So loves me like a rough diamond. That's it. But Christoph, I met Christoph doing the Reaper show, talking to Reaper, and I met Justin over in Living Legends in 2015, where I wangled my way up on the stage because I told the security guys I own the joint. Got up on the stage, and then the stories get better and better, I tell you. But Christoph, I got a bloke, one of the blokes that works for me, and he actually looks like Christoph. So I sent him a photo of Kyle, one of the guys that works for me, and I'm sure they're long lost relations somewhere around the world.
A doppelganger.
So one of the things I just wanted to say this evening, how truly grateful I am for the paintball community. So we have United States represented, Canada represented, Germany represented, and Australia represented as well. So it is a global community, all willing to get back out on that field and shoot each other again. And I'm so happy that you guys are tuning in this evening.
But the U.S. is pretty weakly represented tonight, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Well, you've got to have your repeat offenders.
I totally agree.
I got a question for everyone here.
Sure.
Because here in BC, of course it is. Just kidding. No,
Mute.
What we're doing here in BC right now is because not everyone can get back and play next weekend where everyone wants to. So we're trying to gather everyone together next Sunday, the 24th, and we're calling it Jersey Day 2020, where you just put your jersey on, or if you're into your Meg Fed stuff, don't wear your Megs and don't bring your gun out. But if you're going grocery shopping, represent your colors. Wear your jersey, take a picture of yourself, and just post it up and use the hashtag Jersey Day 2020.
But none of us
And we
want to
wanna see
look
how many
strange
people
at
get out there.
Walmart. Sorry.
Oh, I do. That's my mask is my paintball mask that I use to go grocery shopping.
I wear my BTB hoodie every time I go to Costco, but quite frankly, I'm tired of getting spit on by Gavin.
You're blocking the samples, jackass. You're blocking the samples.
No, I was just
Directly
curious.
from Walmart.
Do you guys have anything that you guys are doing around, or something to keep yourself sane at least while
This.
you can't play?
You know how happy I am just to talk to my friends on this? That's what keeps me grounded.
I've always said that I had a business plan, and that was to stay at home and send the wife to work. That was my business plan. Well, my wife
solid plan.
My wife works in the education department, so now it's government approved, and I'm not a liar because I've brought it to fruition that I stay at home and send the wife to work. So, yeah, she's happy to get out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I just roll over.
Yeah, I'm sure she's pleased with you as well.
I'm stoked. Like another hole in the head, put it that way.
Yeah.
But like everybody else, they're all finding something else. The wife's got a list of things you need to do around home that you've been putting off for 4 years. Because I tell her everything's on a 4-year plan. Don't remind me unless it's 4 years. Get it done. Yeah.
I wonder if Home Depot is doing well because of that. Because I know I go there looking for stuff to fix up around the house. Home Depot, I think, is probably one of the places that are doing really well during this.
We down here, the hardware stores are absolutely chock-a-block. There's that many people going there to do
Sorry,
that.
they're what?
Chock-a-block, full. Chock-a-block.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Full. Can't squeeze anyone else in there. It's they're chock-a-block. They're full. So, I'm sorry, yeah, Captain Sling here. I'll put it that way.
No, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, and they're full. And my neighbour that I brought the land off from my paintball business, he runs a composting supply company, and he is absolutely flat out. There are 5 trucks. They're just going all the time carting compost because people are working on their yards. They're at home, and that's the other thing that I was going to say earlier about when people have their money. What money do they have left over? Because the wife's in one ear nagging them that they need all this done. The yard needs doing. We've got to, get everything ready for summer that's coming after winter. But and that'll be because we're not doing anything else because we're all working around the yard. But, So there is no money. But when we go to like we've got Bunnings, which is your Walmart. What was your Home Depot?
Home Depot.
Woolworths.
Home Depot is Bunnings, our hardware store down here. So but I was standing in line because we've got to stand in line for the distance, how many people go into the building and how many come out. And I'm standing there and I said to the people in front of me, I said, if we get up here and they tell us this ride's shut and we've got to go home because this line was so long. And then there's a lady behind me, she's going, oh yeah, we got to do that. And I said, nah, darling, you can only get what you came here for. You can't do any add-ons to the old man's list while you're standing in line listening to everyone else's conversation. But, mate, everybody's working their guts out on their homes. The only thing I've got to do is finish painting the bathroom and I'm done. So that's my list.
Yeah.
And go out to paintball and build more fields. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, one thing. Melissa, to answer your
question. Hey, there he is.
I'm back.
Where you been?
All the time here. Listening. Melissa, next week would have been the Euro big game. It would have been started on the 22nd. We got the same thing going on here in Germany too. All the players are supposed to be wearing their jersey. The referees are going to wear their referee jerseys, and the players are being called that at least because it's been postponed. We're going to do it in October, so everybody's saying, okay, put your jersey on, put your gear on, not the marker, but give out a one-shot, a picture, and then we're going to collect all those pictures together. And maybe I can share it on my page too, then, as many pictures as I can get. But yes, you have to stay sane. Problem is in Germany, I'm apologizing right now at the moment because German fields are allowed to reopen again this weekend. So people are already playing this weekend. Not the full crowd. It's like smaller games. It's like with a maximum amount of people, and you have to keep your distance and things like that. But the fields are already reopening in Germany, which is good for the industry, good for the fields, and good for everybody, and good for the sanity. I got mixed feelings about it because the big games are not going to be happening soon, hopefully after the summer. But for the small fields, everything is good and everybody's going back to shoot each other.
Yeah. I don't even care.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Yeah. I don't even care if big games don't come back right away. I just literally want to be on a field.
Exactly. So being out there on the field, it doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, if you play a big game and you run around, normally the maximum you see is like 20 to 50 guys, maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, on a real huge field, you don't see the full 2,000 people all the time. The party is another thing, but we will get to that later.
Yeah. Guys, we're getting long in the show. We should probably slowly start winding it down here. First of all, Christoph, thank you for staying up late and being on the program tonight. And Tim, thank you for looking back from the future and being on our show. That's it's nice to finally we see Australians watching us all the time, but we very seldom have much of an interaction with them. Partly because we don't like them, but mostly just because they don't.
Hey, I got family there. Slow down.
They're all pissheads, put it that way.
Yeah. No, but it's great. It's awesome to have all these people internationally watch our show. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And Brian, thank you for jumping on. And I keep thanking you guys for being on, but I keep also realizing that what else are we doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, really? I mean, what are you guys all going to rush off of this and go find some awesome thing to do to keep you busy and occupied? Probably not.
I'm just looking at that shelf behind you. We could get a good start on that.
Yeah. You, yeah. There's a lot back there.
Yeah.
Ian, I wish you luck in the program, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of what you're working on there. Hopefully that'll do something there. James, I'm going to start downloading as soon as I'm done here. Very excited. Thank you very much. Bag of chips, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow probably.
Yep.
And Ryan McGee, we didn't ask you. You get to have the last word tonight, but keep it super quick. Why did you spend over $1,000 on an event or to get to an event?
I knew it was coming. Basically, between hotel and I got left holding the bag on a hotel room, $300+. Rental car, field fee, 3 cases of first strikes. Yeah, needless to say, over $1,000 before I even touched the field. And
Yeah.
this was at 0 hour in New York. So
did you say 3 cases of first strike rounds?
Three 250 round boxes of first strikes. Yes.
That's my airfare to get to America is $1,700.
Wow. Wow. Tim, part of that is just to keep you out.
I know you're getting along, but I want to tell you one thing. It was 2016. I went into Dallas because I fly Sydney, Dallas, Tulsa, and I was sussing out the guy that was the TSA guy, and I'm looking at him, and he's.
You were doing what to the guy?
Sussing him out, like whether he was a happy guy. He was
checking him out. Yes.
No. Okay.
No. I'm with you, mate. Yeah.
No. Sussing him out, and oh, good on you. I'm on live. There you go. One of my boys. And so I'm looking at him and weighing him up. So when I got to him, he said, "So what do you come to America for?" I said, "Oh, I shoot Americans." And he goes, "What?" I said, "Oh, I'm here to play D-Day." He goes, "Oh, I've been up there. I got the crap shot out of me up there." So yeah, you got to get a feeling, but you wouldn't say that in LA because they are the nastiest TSA people. LA's terrible. Sorry, but you were going to have the last word, but I had to get that one in just a little one before I went.
No, I just didn't want you to leave before we dissed Australians one more time. Very good. So thanks everyone for being on the show. Josh, do you have any last words before we let everybody go?
No, thanks everyone who liked and shared the show. Of course, as always, don't forget to talk to your local MPP or governor or whomever is responsible. Push paintball out into the next wave, please. Let's get this rolling. And of course, help control your local airsoft population to have your airsofters spayed or neutered.
Very good. And I apologize, Melissa. I did not say farewell to you. I saw you over there and I forgot. So thank you for being on the program tonight. And hopefully here's a question. If hands up, if we do this again, would you guys join in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Tim, put your hand down. Okay. Sounds.
I'll get the words for you.
Hey, Christoph, before you sign off, I have one question. Have you ever been to Hamburg to Miniature Wonderland?
Yes, I've been.
Is it neat? I look at that. If anyone has a chance, go Google Miniature Wonderland
Just
in
Joe
Hamburg,
ask him if
Germany.
he's done things he's found
Oh
on
man,
Google.
it's awesome. It's like over 3 acres of a miniature like train layout with planes and stuff. It's
It
very
wasn't
cool.
as big as I thought it was.
Less miniature.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Todd.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to derail that, but I just thought I'd ask.
Oh, I see what Joe did there. Come on.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for being on. Gavin, any final words?
Yeah, it was wonderful to be here, and I'm really, really excited about our international community. So, Christoph, Tim, Brian, if you can stay connected to us, I would love to have an international show and do this once again, because it's really, really,
cool.
it's really, really interesting to see how the world is adapting to COVID and how that applies to paintball. And I would love an international perspective. So, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for all liking and sharing. And we will definitely see you on Monday night.
Yeah. And Joe, you get second last to the words.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see everyone Monday night, and until next Saturday when we do our international show, we'll see everyone at PPU.
Very good. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you guys on Monday night for some paintball content. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Good night.